My girlfriend stopped sleeping with me, and I thought our relationship was falling apart. Now, I've discovered the truth, and I'm planning the ultimate surprise to win her heart all over again. I, 25M, and my GF, 25F. Back in April-ish, we were having sex 2 to 3 times a day. We live in an apartment together, she's been taking online classes for her master's, and I'm working from home since the lockdown started. At some point, she got really busy and tired with the project, so we obviously stopped having sex temporarily. Since it's gotten over though, which was nearly 4 months ago at this point, she's turned me down every time I've tried to initiate or set the mood for sex. I have never pressured her. I usually wait a couple of nights before asking again when she tells me she's not in the mood, which turned into waiting a week, which turned into waiting 2 weeks. At this point I'm really concerned. We've never gone anywhere near 4 months without sex before, we've both always had pretty high sex drives. At this point it's important to note that I do not press the matter or pester or pressure her in any way. The moment she says she's not in the mood, I back off immediately. I don't think I've fucked up anywhere because she's always quite apologetic when she turns me down. Our relationship is pretty much perfect in every other way too. We cuddle and hug and have game nights and movie nights. It's never felt like we're drifting apart at any point. She hasn't been behaving differently, like she's upset or depressed. We give each other plenty of space too. It's not like we're constantly together. We have our own friend circles and we curl up on our own devices from time to time. I've tried talking to her about it, but she gets really upset and keeps insisting that nothing is wrong. I drop the matter pretty quickly too because I don't want her to feel like I'm pressuring her to have sex. I just want her to let me in and tell me what's wrong. I honestly don't care about the sex, but I know there's something she's not telling me and it's gone on long enough that I'm getting extremely worried about her. Update 1. Thanks to everyone who replied to my previous post. There were some mixed responses, with some people suggesting I insist on addressing it with her because she's hiding something, with others recommending I give her time to open up on her own. Ultimately, I decided to sort of go for a combo of the two. Friday, when we were both done with work, we sat down and had a discussion. I told her that I could give her the space and time she needed till she was ready to talk to me about it, but I couldn't leave it unaddressed. She needed to acknowledge that there at least was something that she didn't feel ready to tell me, and that was fine, but she at least needed to acknowledge its existence, if only so I stopped feeling like I was going crazy. She started sobbing when I was done, and then she started explaining everything. Some background that I didn't mention in my previous post because it didn't really seem relevant is that my girlfriend has PCOD. One of the consequences of this is that she finds it very difficult to lose weight and has been insecure about her body for most of her life. About a year ago, completely of her own choice, I have always told her that she's beautiful to me no matter what her weight. She resolved to start losing weight, both for her health and to feel better about her body. She started going to the gym a couple times a week, and I was supportive and also cut out all my own junk food consumption in solidarity. Since the lockdown started and gyms shut, apparently she started slowly gaining some weight back due to stress eating and lack of exercise. I am ashamed to say I did not even notice that she was torturing herself over her weight all this while. She admitted that she stopped having sex because she was terrified I would stop finding her attractive after seeing her naked. I reassured her that I think she's gorgeous and attractive no matter what, and I tell her this every day, but she was afraid that would have changed once I saw the weight she had put on. The rest of the conversation consisted of me reassuring her that she's beautiful and her appreciating but not really believing me. After a bit, she asked me to change the topic, and I reluctantly agreed. We had a fairly quiet dinner. She was a little sad and relieved at the same time at having told me, I think. And I was busy scheming. The next morning before work I told her she looked lovely again and she gave me a wan smile, like she appreciated it but didn't really believe me. But that was okay. I was gonna convince her. I asked her to pick up the groceries that evening because I was gonna have a meeting run late. The moment she left home, I got to work. I dug out some fairy lights and a bunch of candles from storage and started setting them up in the living room. Made a couple of playlists and charged the speaker. Snuck down to the florist and bought a giant bouquet. Some more background, I hate dancing because I suck massively at it, while my girlfriend loves it. She used to go dancing every month or two with her girlfriends before lockdown. I'd join in sometimes because it was worth how happy it made her, but she definitely missed it way more than me. So when she got back, naturally I greeted her with what were probably the most ridiculous dance moves in the history of mankind. I'm not gonna lie, folks. She laughed. She laughed a lot. She took a short video, and we both laughed while watching it later. My movement resembled a 5-year-old practicing kung fu more than it resembled dancing, and I had stuck a rose in my ear for maximum ridiculousness. Totally worth it, though. I have no idea how she ever thought she's ugly. Her smile is just so fucking radiant. We danced like idiots for a while before I switched to the slow dance playlist. It was definitely the happiest I'd seen her in a long time. I'd been a bad boyfriend and somehow missed how much she missed everything else. I should have done it months ago. I told her all this. Told her she's the most beautiful woman in my eyes and always will be. And yeah, we had sex. Last night was all about her. She needed to feel special and I had been missing that for too long. I offered to make dance nights a weekly thing afterwards. Kind of as a substitute for the she's been missing, if she wants. She tore up a little. She knows how much I hate dancing. She told me that wasn't necessary. Apparently sex is just as much of a workout as dancing. And we have a lot of missed workouts to catch up on. I'm certainly not complaining. In all seriousness though, I'm gonna dip into my savings a little and order a home treadmill. She can't afford one right now because of college bills, so I'll surprise her with a smile. Thank you to everyone who helped me out with their advice. Edit 1. Oh wow, I am completely overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and support here. Thanks for all the awards. I just logged back into this account, but I promise I'm going to read each of the replies. One thing I saw pop up a couple of times that I just want to reassure you guys about is that she's mentioned wanting a treadmill but not being able to afford one several times in the past, so I know she wants one. However, I figured that it's dumb to take the chance, and one surprise was good enough, and if there's anything this whole experience has taught me, it's the importance of communication. So I'm going to bring it up at dinner tonight that I comfortably have enough saved up to purchase a home workout machine. Since I saw cycles/ellipticals being mentioned, we'll figure out which one we want, and that I'd love to buy one for our home for both of us to use. Thank you all so much once again for your advice. Edit 2R. Me. The comments are coming faster than I can read them now. There's no way for me to reply to every one of them, unfortunately. There are a lot of fantastic suggestions for diets, exercise machines, dance classes, and everything in between, so thank you so much for all of them. She has a great endocrinologist, whose advice she will ultimately be following, but there are some great points to bring up with him. It is really touching and overwhelming to see all the support. Thank you all so much. Final edit. She loved the idea of getting some equipment to do our workouts at home together, so we're going to sit down and do our research tonight before picking the one we like most. We've gotten some fantastic advice here and we'll be looking at ellipticals, bikes, rowing machines, Just Dance on the Switch, and a bunch of other stuff that you guys suggested. To all the people who commented to insist she's cheating on me because I'm a simp, LMAO, thank you for setting the exemplary standard for being macho. Insulting strangers online is so delightfully masculine. The lovely folks who told me to dump her because she's fat get the disappointing but not unexpected shitheads shout out as well. For the overwhelming majority of people, though, I am just breathtaken by the kind and supportive comments we've gotten. Thank you for the treasure trove of advice and LPTs, and all the love. You folks are amazing. Update 2, December 24th, 2024. Hi everyone. I decided to do a quick Christmas Eve update on my profile page in case anyone was still interested, because a lot has happened in 4 years. We're both doing well. We got engaged about 3 years ago and adopted a cat, but it went a bit downhill from there because of a bunch of different health issues that hit her consecutively. She's largely recovered from the temporary ones, and the permanent ones are a lot more under control now thanks to regular health checkups and medication, but it was a rocky couple of years, not for our relationship, just for us in general. All the medical issues also meant she hasn't worked since, which isn't an issue financially but for other reasons which I'll come to in a moment. She's doing a lot better mentally now as well, at least relative to last year. She still struggles with self-esteem and feeling like a burden to her loved ones, especially me, especially because of the aforementioned lack of work over the last few years. She's a lot more communicative about these things now though instead of bottling them up, so she's not let our relationship suffer for this. And I like to think that even if her self-esteem hasn't gone up, her way of coping with it is a lot healthier now, and that's an important step in the right direction. She's even been looking to get back to work over the last month or so, despite the challenges of low self-esteem, severe imposter syndrome, and having to explain a years-long absence, and I'm really proud of her for not just giving up after the hand she's been dealt health-wise. I'm doing really well. I switched jobs and fields about a year back, and I'm making a lot more money now, and I'm enjoying my work a lot more too. I actually started therapy recently as well, because there were some personal discipline issues I wanted to fix, and I ended up discovering a whole host of other issues I had repressed, and bringing them back out into the open and dealing with them has been simultaneously terrifying and liberating. But it's also made me a much better friend and partner, so it looks like I'm gonna have to keep braving them for as long as it takes. As for the biggest one, as is probably obvious from the title, we got married 2 months ago. We would have done it a lot earlier if she hadn't had a bunch of health issues pop up unexpectedly, but with her on the mend, we were finally able to plan and organize the thing so everyone we wanted to be there could be there. I honestly sometimes still find it surreal, like WTF I'm a husband? It still feels like I'm dreaming sometimes and I'm still that clueless wide-eyed college kid, but I look at the woman sleeping next to me and I remember all the ways I've changed for the better, all the ways I've grown up because of her influence, and I feel really lucky to have her. And I know that I, and she, still have a lot more growing up to do, but I'm feeling this overwhelming contentedness within because we get to do all that growing up together. I don't know if I'll update this again, maybe if I get reminded of this account sometime in the future, and something major has happened since. Until then, happy holidays everyone, and I hope the new year is your best year yet. Next story, teen daughter told me my wife was cheating, so I kicked her out and divorced her. A year later, I found my daughter's diary where she admitted she made it all up to get her mom back. I, 43M, was married to my wife, Laura, 31F, for 6 years. I also had a kid from my previous marriage, Sarah, 15F. It was really hard for me to date and get to know women after me and my daughter's mother divorced due to infidelity issues, regarding the fact I had a kid and trust issues, so meeting Laura was really a blessing. We met at an aquarium where I was with my daughter and she with her niece. That day I kept noticing her and how she was treating the kid, and it brought a smile to my face. The next time I met her was a year later, at the said niece's birthday. It turned out that Sarah and the niece was at the same class, and seeing her again was a pleasant surprise. It was like fate. I mustered up my courage to speak to her and finally talk to her. She was a great company and she spoke really well, and it made me like her more. Since it's been 3 years to my divorce, I shot my shot with her and decided to take her out for a coffee. And next thing I know we've been married for 6 years. Laura has been an amazing wife and a mother. She treated Sarah well, and since her mother was not in the picture, she quit her job and took the responsibility to take care of her full time. She even decided to wait to have kids until Sarah was a little older, hence she didn't want her to feel left out and was scared that Sarah wouldn't get enough attention. She taught Sarah multiple languages and shared her culture with her. Her relatives is amazing with her and treats Sarah no less than a bio daughter of Laura. She even have shared her recipes and baked goods with my family, and everyone looks forward to holidays whenever Laura hosts them. She and my mom has developed a great relationship. My friends and family tells me that I won lottery with her, and it really feels like it. Even when Sarah's bio mom showed up after abandoning her own daughter for 9 years, she was the one who encouraged me to let Sarah connect with her and let her be in my daughter's life. She tried her best to help Sarah get to know her mother and even built a friendship with Anna, Sarah's mother. However, earlier last year, around May, I noticed that my daughter was distancing herself with Laura. This was weird, as my daughter never had any fallout with the relationship with Laura as most teenagers do with their mom. Even Laura noticed and cried about it multiple times. So one night I decided to talk to my daughter and ask her what was going on. Sarah told me that she found out Laura was having an affair with someone and she's hurt that Laura betrayed her and me. Hearing that felt like someone was crushing my heart, and the hurt on my daughter's face intensified it. I went straight to my room and woke Laura up and yelled some things at her. I'm not proud of how I handled the situation, and I agree I could have done better. However, the only thing I can think about was how hurt my daughter was. I kicked her out that night, and that was the last conversation we had without a lawyer present. Around November our divorce was finalized and I moved on with my life. I did do some things I regret to Laura, so I didn't want to make it hard for her, and just wanted to be done with her, so there was no revenge and petty actions involved. I did let my family know the real reason, and they were disappointed to say the least. My daughter also doesn't have a relationship with Laura, and we cut contact with her family and threatened legal action if they tried to meet with us. I didn't want anything to do with her. During August, I decided to surprise my daughter with a trip to celebrate her 16th birthday. Since I was dealing with a divorce last year, I wasn't able to really celebrate with her. So I decided to pack her bag and take her straight to airport from her sleepover with friends. I asked my younger sister to help me with packing Sarah's clothes. While she was packing, I saw a notebook on her nightstand with a Polaroid of her and Laura peeking. Curiosity got the best of me and I opened it to find out it was her diary. This might have been wrong of me to go through my daughter's diary, but I went through it. And I have not been well ever since. She wrote about how she lied about Laura having an affair and how she even made evidence to make me believe her if I questioned her. She wanted me and her mother to be together, be a family, and kick Laura out of the picture. However, after Laura left us, is no longer in her life, she's regretting it. It felt like my heart broke for the second time. I started crying, and I haven't even cried when Laura I divorced. My sister noticed me and I asked her to leave and keep it a secret from everyone. She asked what happened and I showed her the diary. She was shocked but told me that she respects my decision and vowed to keep her mouth shut. I drank the night away and just have been in automotive mode like a robot. From work to home, and drank till I black out and returned to work with a raging hangover. My daughter has noticed it, but I told her it was just a stressful time at the work. But last Sunday she blew up at me saying that she noticed that I've been different since Laura left us and told me if I wanted to stay with a cheating rear, I was more than welcome to abandon her. That did hurt like hell, but I just left to my room and laid on the bed and cried the night away. It have been around 2 weeks since I found out about it, but I haven't said anything to my daughter. I want to bring my emotions under control before saying anything I'd regret, and I don't want to repeat the mistake of taking actions while I'm hurting. And quite frankly, now that I'm thinking with a sober mind, I'm not really sure how to confront my daughter. I need the closure, and I don't think I can just act like nothing happened. I am quite ashamed to say so, but I want my Lara back. So Reddit, thank you for taking your time to read, and I hope you can help me with this, and please be kind. Update. First of all, thank you all for the advice. I did check the comments frequently yesterday, but was not able to reply as I was overwhelmed. A lot of you have been asking how the confrontation with Lara went. It wasn't as excessive as a lot of you were assuming. I woke her up and asked her why she cheated on me. She asked me what I was talking about. I just said that I don't want her in my house anymore and she needs to leave because I can no longer bear to look at her face. That she was the least person I would expect to betray me. She looked at me shocked and just started crying, and she didn't say anything else. She called her cousin to come get her and she just left, and before she did she said that she never cheated on me and she would have never even thought to. That was the last time we saw each other. I blocked her and never contacted her directly, and she didn't. Now that I think about it, I think the way I treated her hurt her too much. She grew up in a conservative family, so she never dated nor had any relationships as she was expected to get arranged marriage. So I really was the first one after her first arranged marriage broke up. It's not my place to say why it ended, but it wasn't her fault. And about the evidence, she just had some screenshots of chats that I never saw. I believed Sarah without a doubt because she was my daughter. I'm not telling this to defend myself or anything, but to give a perspective on why I acted the way I did. When I was with Anna, my younger sister actually told me that she knew Anna was cheating on me as she saw her in the AP during a night out. When I confronted Anna, she gaslighted me, and I wrote an apology letter to her in the AP, who was a manager at my workplace, because that was the only way she would forgive me. However, she left me and Sarah when we were spending holidays with my parents, stole some valuables from my parents' house and our apartment, and drained our savings account in which I had my inheritance and college fund to buy us a new house. She basically left me and Sarah broke and heartbroken. I always had my regrets about not believing my sister because she didn't have any evidence, so it seems that my poor judgment cost me my wife. I forgot to mention in the last post, but after the fight me and Sarah had, she's currently with her mother. As for the diary, she brought it over to her mother's house, but my sister had taken some pictures at the time as I was not in a great headspace. And for the writing, I'm sure it's her handwriting, as she and Lara have quite the same handwriting. I also saw the question about whether my daughter went to therapy when Anna came back. She didn't, as Anna didn't want to send her to a shrink, and now that I think about it, was stupid of me, but I just wanted to give Anna a chance to be a mother, I guess. Lara didn't push for it as Anna threw quite the tantrum, but brought Sarah a diary so that she can write what she can't say to others. Also, my daughter has never done anything like this before, and the biggest lie she has ever said was about not cheating on an exam, but later cried and confessed to it. I really don't have any idea why Sarah would do it, and I'm not sure if Anna had a hand in it. I don't have a solid plan, but I think I'll start by sending Sarah to therapy after confronting about the affair. I haven't yet decided what to do with Lara. It hurts to even think about her, and I keep remembering about how I vowed to be there for her, but I never was able to. Also, I never abused Lara, but considering what she had done for me and Sarah, I don't think it was fair to her for me to raise my voice at her.